All right, we'll be getting started here in a short second. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. We just wanted to spend a little bit of time today, answer some questions for the AMA, but also to provide a community update. As a reminder, if you attend late or if you end up missing this, we are recording it right now, so we'll be uploading that later for anyone who misses it so that they can listen in. So we just kind of wanted to take a moment, update you guys on the development status. I know there have been a lot of questions on kind of what has been going on and also some of the updates that are coming very soon. And then, there are also a lot of questions about the community program and things like that. So I want to be able to address all of those questions today, let you know about the status. You may have seen some of the updates being given by our community leader, Yukimura, in the chat. So, if you pay attention to the general chat, you may be seeing from time to time him posting some of the updates in chat. But, I want to take a moment so that we can kind of condense them and talk about them all in one place in case you did miss those updates so that you can kind of understand where we are in the development status and also have an understanding of the bigger picture. So I think the first thing to talk about today, and probably the one that was, receiving the most questions, was about the OnChain Upgrade, which is going to be the next upgrade to the mainnet. And this is actually going to be occurring very soon. So it's actually scheduled. We're trying to get it out within the next, I want to say 10 days or so. In an ideal scenario, as we exit August and move into the next month, September, this is something that we plan to be doing very early, with tomorrow being September 1st. So this is something that's going to be happening very soon, provided that everything goes according to plan. Obviously, a lot of testing has to go on in the background to ensure that everything is ready for the on-chain upgrade to get published. But the main things for you guys to take away from this is that once this is published, we're going to be able to immediately send out the token distribution for the community program and also the moderator program. So, for example, I understand today is actually the 31st, which means it's the end of the month for anyone who participated in August's community program, which means today we'll actually be tallying up the leaderboard and all of the tasks that were completed on the Crew3 page, and we'll be able to kind of delegate those rewards. So we'll be able to set out the leaderboard, who won, and then set up the amounts, collect the wallet addresses like we did last month, and be able to delegate those rewards. Now, this is something that's actually going to be happening once that on-chain upgrade is completed. So like I said, it is something we expect to be happening very soon, provided that all of our testing goes correctly. With that, the token distribution for the previous months, for example, for July, for the community program, the token distribution for moderators for the previous season, is actually something that we've just recently made sure we've double checked that all of the numbers are correct so that as soon as this on-chain upgrade can be published, we can go ahead and send out those token distributions. With this being said, I do also expect future token distributions, any future airdrops or any distributions done as a part of the community program to be a little more easily processed. I'm not gonna guarantee that they can be 100% sent more quickly, but the process should be smoother for the team, for us, so that way we can make sure that token distributions, anyone who participates in a community program or any moderators are getting rewarded properly. So that's something I'm very excited for, and like I said, it is going to be happening in the I want to say in the next 10 days or so, but also very, very soon. Basically, this is what we're working on. The developers are working on around the clock, and they're making sure that everything that's done in regards to updates to the mainnet is being done properly, and sometimes that does take a little bit of extra work, but it's work in making sure that you're doing everything properly. Now, the good news is that, as I'm sure you may have seen from some of the, kind of alpha that's being shared in the main chat, this on-chain upgrade will also be introducing testing for the NFT-Fi functionality, right? So that NFT-Fi functionality, which is being integrated with the on-chain upgrade, is actually going to be functioning. So we were going to have some minimal NFT-Fi functionality, and that's going to be on the back end. However, this is good news because A, we can finally begin to test that on mainnet, and then B, we can slowly be able to bring that to kind of public use. The thing to remember here is, for public use, anyone who uses the platform, obviously that NFT-Fi functionality is going to be done through the front end. You may have also seen that some of the front end platform development progress is going smoothly, and that we have integrated with Bubble's NoCode platform. Now, this is something that I actually think a lot of people don't realize the value in, so I'm going to spend a moment to talk about that, and just kind of touch upon the advantages of using Bubble's NoCode. All right. So let's think about a new application, right? And this was an example I actually discussed with the moderators recently, and it was when you open the Discord app. An example, right? You open Discord on your phone or on your laptop, and you use the application, and you expect it to work well. And you expect it to be reliable, and if it's not working, you get frustrated, right? So when we think about that, we have to remember that a project the size of Discord, there's a team of hundreds of developers who are working on it full time, 50, 60 hours a week, to make the Discord experience completely seamless and reliable, and you feel good when you use that platform. So ultimately, the end users of a platform, anyone who is going to be using the front end, anybody who's using UnUniFi for the NFT-Fi functionality, for the most part, they do not care about the effort that goes into developing the back end. They don't really, they want it to be easy to use, but they don't really care about the development progress on the back end, right? And we see that now as well, is that as development updates are being shared with the community here in UnUniFi, you can see the progress as it happens, and the developers are real people who sit at a desk and help bring the NFT-Fi functionality to life, right? For the most part, a lot of times the community just wants to see it completed, but they don't take time to appreciate along the way the development that's being done. So now let's bring that back into the front end, right? When we look at front end, you want something that's seamless and is easy to use. And so in terms of product adoption, it's hard to get people to try something new, right? It's hard to get people to download a new app, or asking people to try something new that's out of their comfort zone. And that's a issue that any new product, especially one that's, I would say, as sophisticated as UnUniFi protocol, is when you look at new user adoption, you have to convince users of the value. There's a value proposition in your product, and in convincing the users of that value proposition, that's how you obtain new users. And I'm not talking about Discord members or community members. I'm talking about product users, the actual people who will be using the UnUniFi platform, the UnUniFi marketplace. the NFT-Fi functionality, all of our lending. Those people need to be convinced that it is easy, that it is simple, that it's reliable, that when they go to use the platform or open the website or open the portal, that it's going to be seamless and, there's no issue or hesitation, right? That's how you make a product adoptable. So when we look at Bubble NoCode, Bubble is the perfect example of how to make a front end that is adoptable to the community and to the audience that is using it, right? When UnUniFi finishes integrating via API, right, there's an integration with an API plugin into Bubble's NoCode platform. As this is getting worked on, as this is being done, the community will eventually be able to create unique front ends for UnUniFi using the Bubble platform. So once that API is updated, anyone in the community or anyone outside of the community can create a unique front end for UnUniFi for the platform using Bubble. And this does two things. The first thing is that it allows outside communities, outside developers, outside projects to create a unique front end that appeals to their audience. So if we think about it from the perspective of an NFT project, maybe in the future, if UnUniFi were to partner with specific NFT projects, right? Ones that would be featured on a platform via community vote, for example. Let's say, the community of UnUniFi looks at a blue chip or another NFT project, and there's a lot of holders in our community of this NFT project, and maybe we do a outreach or collaboration or something like that with that specific project. Well, now that specific project can go ahead and create a unique front end for UnUniFi, one that makes it easier for anyone in that community to come back and use the UnUniFi front end, right? So it ends up becoming seamless. It's not something where everyone has to understand how to use the back end. And through Bubble's integration, you don't even need to know how to code to create the front end, right? So that's the advantage here of having a essentially what is a decentralized front end. It's up to the communities that are using them or up to the projects that are using them to be able to easily and smoothly integrate that front end, create their own version of the front end that they will be using whenever they try to tap into the UnUniFi platform. And so when you think about something like that, it kind of again reminds you that UnUniFi as a whole is creating an ecosystem, right? It's not just one front end. It's not just one NFT collection that's being supported. It's not just one blockchain, right? It's an ecosystem for NFT-Fi. And when you think about that, you can realize how much larger and more valuable this ecosystem is outside of a specific, like token project or something like that. When we look at this NFT-Fi functionality and as it steadily progresses, that's where you can understand that it's very difficult to create an entire ecosystem, but it's also where the most value is drawn because we're able to create a platform that can serve all of these different communities, have all of these different unique front ends, right? The Bubble integration. It's essentially making the barrier of entry to using the UnUniFi platform smaller and smaller and smaller, so that anytime someone new hears about UnUniFi or hears about the NFT-Fi functionality, they do not have a difficult time learning about it or accessing it or being able to come in and be able to participate. So I'm very excited for Bubble. This is a really big aspect here, and it's actually something that's going to be very valuable. And so I know we've touched upon Bubble before. It's not the first time. It's been chatted about a little bit in main chat and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think we kind of underestimate, or, as community members, we tend to not think about the value that integrating with something like Bubble has for the ecosystem like this. Now, I'm just going to take a second to read general chat here, see if you guys had any questions in the meantime. If anyone does have any questions, feel free to post it, in general chat. I'm just monitoring the chat right now. Before we move on to our next topic, I will take more questions at the end. If anyone wants to speak, at the end, you can raise your hand here in the stage. But in the meantime, you can just type away. We have a question from Alien. Any plans on listing on Osmosis Dex? No, not at the moment. Rashid asked, what stable coins are you working with currently? If you take a look at our homepage on the website and take a look at the one pager, or if you have time to read the white paper, what you can see is that the UnUniFi platform actually allows users to mint stable. So that is integrated into the platform where you can mint your own stablecoin based off of the lending process. And so if you have an NFT that you're putting into the platform, that is an option. Matt Nova asked, the NFT issued after the testnet, is it the same as the present working NFT? I'm not sure what your question is there. We've only issued one NFT, and that's the commemoration or the Genesis NFT. That's all that's been issued for UnUniFi. And from my understanding, I think it's been mentioned a couple of times that NFT will have some future utility. But remember that NFT-Fi, the functionality as a whole, is aimed at blue chip NFTs and also at other NFT collections. So it's not limited to any one NFT collection. It's ultimately any NFT that has demand on the platform can be used. So it's not just the NFTs that we issued. That's not how the platform works. It's if you own a blue chip NFT, you can go into the platform and you can go ahead and put it into the platform. Even if it's an NFT that was issued on ETH, for example, that is going to be supported. There will be a mechanism where, let's say I have an NFT on ETH and I want to go ahead and use it on the UnUniFi platform. That's supported. There's going to be a mechanism that does that. I'm not going to get too much detail for that for right now. All right, we have another question. Oh, no, he's just commenting on the NFT-Fi status. Yes, I'm also very excited for the NFT-Fi features. Total supply of the GUU token is 1 billion. It's also listed on the white paper, Alien. Rashid asked, will the marketplace be like OpenSea? In some ways, yeah, there are the opportunity to buy and sell NFTs there, but the distinctive features of UnUniFi is the NFT-Fi functionality that I just spent the last 15 minutes talking about. The ability to exhibit NFTs, to issue stable coins against them, the lending functionality. So, if you're not familiar with UnUniFi as a project, please be sure to check out the homepage, Rashid, because there's a lot of information on our website. If you are new to our Discord or new to our project, definitely feel free to check that in. But essentially, yes, the differentiating feature is the NFT-Fi functionality. We have someone who asked the difference between GUU and UGUU. Basically, it's just a fractionalized version, right? So UGUU is the name in the blockchain, but its symbol is GUU, right? So it's like its denomination, it's a fractional version. Reason for choosing the name UnUniFi. It's because we are creating a decentralized ecosystem. To ununify is to create a truly cross-chain NFT ecosystem, marketplace, and platform. When exactly are we expecting the leaderboard? The leaderboard is live. You can check it on Crew3 at any time. And essentially, what happens if you are new to the community program is that the leaderboard resets every month, so you can go in. For example, starting September 1st, which would be tomorrow, and begin participating in the community program for September. And that means that essentially the leaderboard is erased. It starts over again. And you can participate in all of the tasks and quests that are on Crew3 for the community program. Any efforts that were created in August obviously don't count for efforts in September. Network asked how other projects will be deployed on chain. There is a functionality to mint NFTs on the UnUniFi chain. That is something that will be included in the marketplace eventually. So you can go ahead and be fully integrated into the UnUniFi ecosystem by using that marketplace to mint, to exhibit, to transact as well. So it becomes kind of this one stop for everything that you might need in terms of NFT transacting, right? A full-fledged ecosystem. And I use that word because it's not just one aspect. You don't just go to the platform for just one thing. It really will end up serving every single aspect that you could think of when it comes to, NFT trading, lendership, and then also for the NFT-Fi functionality, right? So you have a ecosystem, you have one place where you can do everything that you need in terms of NFTs. About the leaderboard, I noticed a reward zone. Yes, so the leaderboard currently rewards the top 30 efforts of the community program. So anyone in the top 30 will receive rewards. This is something that we have mentioned before. And basically, this is a way to reward the most active or the most helpful participants for the month. One of the issues with Crew3 is that there are tasks in which the community can create their own unique efforts, whether that is, making a video or creating a unique thread or translating a blog post whenever we post a new one, things like that, that are unique efforts that the community can do. And then there's also efforts that are very simple, like retweeting a tweet and sharing UnUniFi on Twitter, or things like that, that are kind of just one click and go. And so we have a lot of people who do the one click and go thing, and not a lot of people who actually participate in creating the unique efforts. And so the way to combat that is by rewarding the top 30 of anyone who is participating in the community program for the month. And what that does is it makes the people who are doing those unique efforts able to join and enter kind of that reward zone of the top 30 of the leaderboard. Obviously, this is flexible. If the community decides that they want a different mechanism or something like that, we can always discuss it, but that's how it's being done right now. Are you adding new quests for September? Yeah, there will be some new quests on the Crew3 platform. There always are. We kind of add them as we go. So new ways to participate. One of the quests is suggesting a new quest. So, if you have any ideas for a new quest that you think is going to be a valuable contribution to the community, that is something that you can participate in as well. We have Rashid asked, have we done any auditing? To my knowledge, no. A lot of the NFT-Fi functionality, things of that nature, are still being developed. Ultimately, the way I understand it is many projects get audited once the bulk of their code has been completed, once the bulk of their functionality has been built. And so I can imagine that will be something that will be considered later on once, the code has actually been finished being developed and the progress is further along. We do have a lot in store for Q4 of 2022. And so that's something that's going to be, I think, pretty exciting to see as a community member, as we kind of see this progress happen in real time. And so, yeah, definitely in the future, I can probably assume that it'll be something that'll be happening, but that's not something I've seen right now. All right. I see a lot of questions about the community program. We're going to take a break on those questions for now. I will come back to them. But any questions that you guys might have about our more important updates, such as the OnChain Upgrade or the Bubble platform or the NFT-Fi functionality, please feel free to ask away. I'll come back to the community program questions in a little bit. In the meantime, I think now is a good time to kind of go forward with our surprise announcements for this upcoming month. And it's actually two things I'm really excited about. The first is that UnUniFi is going to be attending Messari Mainnet here in New York City. This is a really large crypto event. Thousands of people tend to attend this every year, and so UnUniFi will be there. Very excited for this. This is towards the end of the upcoming month in September. And then the second announcement is that we're also attending another major event, which will be Cosmoverse in Medellin. So this month, September, I think is going to be packed with updates in terms of our on-chain upgrade, in terms of the NFT-Fi functionality, in terms of the Bubble platform, and then also with these two major events that UnUniFi will be attending. So anyone who's looking at the project right now today, I think if you come back in September, there's going to be a lot more here. Just off of everything that we've kind of talked about today, a lot more that you can kind of look at. And what I mean by that is that all of this progress that's being done in the background in terms of development progress, in terms of networking, a lot of things that we've been working on, me personally as well, things that I've been kind of talking to other projects or other people who were attending the events, things like that, is kind of all coming forward bit by bit. And so, maybe August, it was a bit of a slow month, obviously maybe not a lot in terms of development updates, but remember, we've been talking about the Q4 kind of as this big point in updates to the status. And again, as we enter September here, we're just kind of starting to see all of these things come to fruition. So very excited, very excited. UnUniFi will be at these two major crypto and NFT events. We'll be able to share the project with some very important networking and other projects that will be there. I'm very excited for these two events. Obviously, we'll be sharing updates along the way. If anyone is in New York or in Medellin for the Cosmoverse event, for example, we would love to kind of meet community members and chat. So I think that's something that's exciting as well. But yeah, that was the surprise announcement for today. I just wanted to kind of let you guys know kind of what we've been doing, talk about all of these different aspects that we're going to be seeing come forward in the next few weeks. It's going to be a very busy month. September is going to be very busy for us. And so I'm very excited. I hope you are too. Ultimately, as we do continue to build the platform, more updates will be coming. A lot of things are shared in the general chat. We do get some alpha here for the people who are reading the Discord, sharing some of those updates. So definitely stay tuned for that kind of information. Because, you can kind of keep track along. I know a lot of people, again, ultimately, they just want the platform to be finalized. They want it to be built. They want it to be ready. But rarely do people have the opportunity to get in at such an early time in a project's development and then see it all the way through until release. I think that was everything I had in terms of announcements. So, I know it was a lot of information. Like I said before, I'll record it so you guys can listen over again. And I'll go back to taking some questions. If anybody raised their hand to speak, I might have missed it before as I was kind of answering questions from the general chat, but I'll be keeping an eye on that. Any plan to integrate Kepler? Yeah, you can actually go ahead and see your GUU balance on Kepler right now. And that will be something that's supported by the platform. Why aren't governance happening so far? Well, I don't think there's really anything for, governance in terms of just development progress, right? We're still very early in the project, so there's not a whole lot in terms of community voting. We do take, kind of polls here and there and other things like that. But I think in terms of larger governance features, that is something that'll be more important later on, especially once the token is tradable and readily available, right? I mean, that's something that needs to happen first before, there needs to be an ease of access for the main utility token before we can go ahead and start submitting governance. Takes a whole lot of time before quests we've completed get approved. As a reminder, in the older version of our community program, tasks were reviewed once a month at the end of the month. So if you submitted a task on August 1st, it was getting reviewed on August 31st. So in the old community program, that was 31 days. In the new community program, I've been keeping track, about a maximum of 6 to 7 days in review for quests. I'm not going to do the math, but that's a pretty large improvement. So on our end, we are, okay with that. Quests are never going to be completed, or approved in, 5 seconds because a real person has to go ahead and review the quests. How long until we're able to use a auto compounder? Actually, this was something I think was talked about recently, and it's probably something that's going to be worked on as we continue to roll out functionality, because this was something that was mentioned. I can't comment anymore in terms of like how long, but it is something that what I will say it was discussed by the team. Okay. Is there going to be a more compact UI? Yeah, I suspect that the UI for the UnUniFi portal will be updated to be made more modern and more efficient. Obviously, right now, one of the things to consider is that UI is a last, step of the process in terms of the development process, right? You go from back end to front end. Technically speaking, right, the back end being the most important for the developers to spend their time on. So when you look at the front end and it's something that's very simple, that's really good for a simple front end or a simple UI. And I'm talking about the portal specifically, because it allows troubleshooting. It allows easy troubleshooting for code or for updates, things like that. I imagine the UI will be kind of tweaked and adjusted along the route. So definitely. Can you explain this that I see on the floor? Staked ratio. Yes. So remember, right now, the utility token is not publicly tradable. It's being delegated through participation in community program, through participation in the different aspects, right? If you're a moderator or things like that. But it's not tradable. It's not publicly accessible. So there's a very low staked ratio, but that's just because it's a very low amount of supply that's been issued. A very minuscule amount of supply has actually been issued or being made available. I imagine that number will go up as the token is more available to the public, right? I mean, if you want to think about it from this perspective, right now, anyone who's in the Discord right now is an alpha tester or a beta tester. I'd lean alpha, but that's the idea, is that, it's so early that the token is not even readily available yet. That is something that you have to keep in mind. So, once the token is available on a major exchange, for example, and it's more publicly issued, people can go and acquire this token if they wanted to, then that staked ratio will go higher. To answer your question, Denson, no, you do have to stake in the UnUniFi portal. So you will have to sign a transaction in the portal for now. You want to wrap it up, and then we will issue the secret passphrase for the quest for anyone who is participating in the Crew3 program. For anyone who's new, basically there's a little quest where you can just do your proof of attendance, right? So like a little pull-up, and you just earn a little XP on the dashboard. Any information about funding? None that I can publicly share. It is going well, but no details that I'm allowed to share. All right. If there are no further questions, I will probably wrap it up here. I think at one point I saw 100 of you attending, so great job for everyone who came in. Thank you guys so much for being able to attend this update. I know over the month of August, there have been a lot of questions that you guys have asked in terms of development updates, the OnChain Upgrade, NFT-Fi functionality, the platform availability. I mean, I know you guys have just had a lot of questions. So hopefully we covered everything today. And if not, remember, you can always ask questions in the Discord, hop on over to the support channel, or you can DM. But if you have any issues with using the portal or something like that, definitely remember to use the support channel in Discord. And yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much for attending today's update. a lot of fun and exciting news, and we will be wrapping it up here. All right, awesome. I'm so excited that you guys were able to attend today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will post this recording later on, and I will talk to you guys soon. And yeah, thanks for coming by.